because he knows the people. He knows the people who are supposed to answer that. The main witness is not here. So, gentlemen, if you are not able to respond to that, tell the committee I am not able. Don't try to take us in circles. We understand. Yes.
Yeah, please. Sorry about that. You see, when you look at Annex 1, if you have it, if you have Annex 1, there's a county government of Kitui allocations to KICOTEC for the period 2017 to 2022. And you see in there all manner of things, all manner of things. Jumble down, There is also some ballast crusher in there. Don't forget that the title is allocation to KICOTEC. And I'm wondering whether KICOTEC is the one that procured the ballast crusher. You see there mango value addition machines, whether they are also part of KICOTEC. Milk processing is part of that. Specialized plant, there are a lot of things jumbled up under KICOTEC. And then the amount, Chair, if you are keen, the total amount is 395 million. So then you ask yourself, so now, 395, is it additional to 168 million? Or is 168 million part of the 395? What is this? Because the amount there, when you go down, the amount there is 395 million Kenya shillings. The amount is closed, which on record again, cannot be traced through the banks, is 168 million. What are we dealing with here?
Yes, proceed, CEO.
Okay. Through the chair, I would actually agree with our honorable senator because I'm basing on the records I found in KICOTEC, of which that is why I've mentioned the financial statement, because if you look at it, the funds, the 168 million, it is just a figure in our financial statement, but these funds, initially KICOTEC was a department in the county government. So that is where the 168 million was injected from. So I would say
from where? Finish your English. From
the Ministry of Trade.
Which county?
Kitui County.
So the monies came from the county?
Yes.
Through the former governor, Charity Ngilu?
Yes.
Wacha kutapatapa na maneno, complete your sentences. I'm very keen with English and Swahili. Proceed.
So basically that is what I would say. The 168 million, I don't have the true facts of the amount injected, but according to the records which I found in KICOTEC, it was showing the 168 million was the money which was injected in KICOTEC in form of machinery, building, and construction. But I'm not 100% sure about it.
Chair.
Are you saying that the money went through your bank transactions?
No, sir.
Where did you get the money?
How did you get the 168 from the county? Pesa ilitoka aje katika kaunti ya Kitui ikaingia katika hii kampuni ya KICOTEC?
I'm saying the purchase of the machinery, the construction of the buildings was being initiated at the Ministry of Trade when KICOTEC was a department in the Ministry of Trade. So what we received in KICOTEC was a summary, was in form of a report showing 168 million was injected in KICOTEC to purchase those machines.
Okay, Chair, on the same floor, do you have the former CC trade? CCU.
I don't know whether they're here, but we have your
Honorable members.
With your permission,
Yeah.
Chair. Since the board, which was there then, is here, since those who are chief officers then in finance are here, perhaps they should also help in throwing some light.
We are coming to them, Governor.
Okay, fine.
Let us deal with this guy, kidogo too, but we are coming to them. Quickly, Chair, I wanted through you, quickly, on the same, the Chair has asked you a simple question. How did then the 2 million, how was it added? How did these more funds come? According to what you're trying to tell the committee, according to you, don't know where money came from, but you just know the equipments, machinery, raw materials were just there. So you are just told, come in, this is your office, continue working. Be on record, don't nod your head. Press say yes or no.
Yes, the Honorable.
Thank you. I wanted quickly, although that question is still not exhausted, I want you to go to Annex 3, where we have the bank statement for equity.
No, that one, wait. We are coming to that. Let's move systematically.
Okay,
We'll come to that.
Chair, it's just paining me so much.
Senator,
but
before you continue,
yeah.
the witnesses who were to accompany the former governor, I'm not going to allow you to chip in. I can see you are raising your hands. We are not going to allow you to chip in because your substantive witness is not here. I will give further direction on that. The issues that we are now dealing with is the clarifications upon our last meeting that we required the governor to tell us more. And the governor has given the report. So it is not yours to respond to. I will give direction on how we are going to handle that bit of Gilu and the former board members of KICOTEC. So this one, we are just dealing with the clarifications. We asked the governor to attempt to give us those clarifications. So if you are the witness who was to accompany Madam Gilu, you are not supposed to respond. And number two, the rules of this committee is that it is the governor who directs the particular officer to respond to. So please don't raise your hand unless the governor tells you to respond to a matter. Proceed.
Okay, well noted, Chair, but I think we can internally analyze that decision because these key witnesses play a very key role. Because I'm thinking and I'm foreseeing your future, your later decision of the main witness, whereby you might issue summons of arrest. And since the other witnesses are here before this committee, it would be fair and prudent because all of them have appeared to be able to shed light. Back on the same question, Senator Wambua talked about the 395. This is information that it is not from Senate. It is information from the county. Are you in a position to explain the additional top-up of the 395 less 168? They're over 200 million. That is in your Annex 2, which talks about still purchase of equipments which have no names. CEO, through the governor.
No, madam.
Okay. No, is not in a position to explain hiyo pesa ya juu ya milioni zaidi ya 200 from the 395 million. From 168 less 395. He's not able to explain how these funds, in form of the assets, found themselves to KICOTEC. Kwa hivyo wewe ulikuwa unaletewa tu machines na raw materials. Unaendelea kufanya kazi.
Through the chair, what happened when I joined KICOTEC
Which year?
in September 2021,
Correct.
basing on the financial statements which were previously prepared, the records were showing 168 million was injected to KICOTEC in form of assets. So basically, my argument is based on that report, which I found in KICOTEC when I joined it.
Chair, allow me to help this one. Peter.
Yeah, maybe before you come in, Senior Senator, the legal officer has an issue to raise. Please proceed.
Through the chair, maybe we can just make a clarification. When the summons were issued, we issued to each of the board, the former board members, as well as the former governor. So I believe, and in the wordings of the summons, each of the board members were invited or summoned to appear before the committee and give their evidence in relation to the Auditor General reports that the committee is currently considered. Maybe that may be considered as you consider your ruling.
So you are advising that the witnesses who are here can respond to the issues members are raising individually.
Yes, in the context of the summons that each of them received, they were summoned to appear to respond to issues arising from the Auditor General reports, which the committees can, yes, each of them was invited, summoned to give that evidence.
Chair, just to echo the legal team, the gentleman acting CEO claims he came to office in 2021. So this other ulabalu that we are, this other shenanigans, according to him, he's not familiar. So the best people who can be able to assist this committee are the board members who are seated there, the former chairperson, and any other CC who was a member of CC at that particular time.
Very
Chair.
well. We have a gentleman called Ben Jackson, who was the CEO. Who is Ben Jackson?
Exactly. Now that is the man to tell us
So
where
now
the
come and take the
168.
seat here. Kuja ukae karibu kwa hiyo kiti yake.
Yes.
And the other board members, you should be ready to respond to issues members are raising. The board chairperson, Patrick Wambua. Can we have space created for him? Can we have space created for him on this side?
Yes, actually give them next to the governor. CC, you thought wise. You know, ladies are good in leadership. Wacha wakae hapo karibu na governor. Just swap with them.
One of the honorable members can swap with the chair.
Yes.
One of the honorable members, just swap, please. So the chair, come here. But as the legal officer said, you are responding to the issues individually. You are not responding on behalf of Honorable Charity Ngilu. You have been summoned individually. So you are responding to the issues individually. So, honorable members, gentleman Ben, I hope you heard the questions we raised, the questions Senator Wambua raised, and the question I've raised, and the question members have raised. Can you tell us about these 168 million shillings?
Thank you, Chair and the honorable members. I'll confirm that I don't have a substantive answer to that particular question because those are issues that, according to me, are history. I joined KICOTEC in 2021. I didn't find substantive records and support documentation of these assets worth 168 million. According to me, 168 million was a mirage, and the information that I got is that KICOTEC that time was a department under Minister of Trade. So money came from the county government to the Minister of Trade. How those assets were purchased, I can't tell because there were no records. There was no asset register for those assets when I joined KICOTEC in May 2021. So in this case, I'm not in a position to authentically explain issues of 168 million, because the only thing I could lie with is what was in the bank statement. Thank you.
Chair.
Yeah, Senator Wambua.
You know, Chair, I'm very happy with that response. And you know, Chair, I'm just going to really request members, including myself. This is a lot of money that could have been lost. And we just focus on where this money, let's just follow this money and try to get where this money is, so that, and we are not even interested in any sideshows, that we are not interested at all. So in your opinion, former CEO, who do you think has the answer to the question that we are asking?
Use the mic.
Thank you very much, Senator. I think my letter of invitation is talking of a CEO. I'm not a CEO. The persons who are in the best position of answering those questions, number one, is the former acting CEO whom I inherited the office from, Georgina Musembi. The second people who can answer this question with authority and give evidence is a board that I found there. The third party that can answer these questions very well is the former chief officers who are here, and I'm lucky, CEO Kadi is here, I'm lucky, CEO Modoka is here. So those are the people who can give a clear history of exactly what happened and in this room, but the former CEO who was here at that particular time is not here. Thank you.
So who is this, you said who, Mudembi?
Former CEO Georgina Musembi.
Yes.
Where is she here? She's not here. So I think the clerk, you can note that name. We have the chairperson of KICOTEC is here. Former chairperson. Pardon? Tell us when you got into office. Was it 2018 or when?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Mr. Patrick, as I said earlier. I was appointed as the chairperson of the board on January 29, 2020, and we found the KICOTEC was already in existence because, as many of us have said, it was a department in the Ministry of Trade. So I was appointed as the chairperson, and this is the figure that was added over to us as the board, what we inherited, the assets. So the way they were purchased, as the CEO has said, I'm not aware. But we picked the assets worth in the records. We were told that they costed 168 million.
So who was the chairperson before you?
I was the first one, but KICOTEC was already existing because it was a department in Ministry of Trade.
Okay, Senator Wambua.
That's okay. I think we are doing well.
No, we are on the right one. Proceed. You are out of order. Please, you are out of order. Proceed, Senator Wambua. Senator Wambua, proceed.
So you came in 2020, right? Yes. Before then, there was no chair.
Yes.
KICOTEC was being operated under the Department of Trade.
Yeah, sure.
Do we have the chief officer at Trade? Under whose tenure the KICOTEC was initiated? You're here.
Thank you, Chair.
This is your man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
This is the right man. Can you tell us a story about 168 million?
Okay, my name is Justus Macau. I was the Chief Officer for Trade starting August 2019. But I can give some history on what was happening then. The construction of KICOTEC started in the year 2018-2019 after the former governor took office. And then
it was a department under the Ministry of Trade, just like where we have cooperatives, MSMEs. It was the budget allocation was being voted under the Ministry of Trade as money that will go toward construction of KICOTEC. KICOTEC as a unit, as an independent unit, came into force in 25th of November 2019 when it was gazetted under Kitui County Corporation Act, KICOTEC regulations. That's when the KICOTEC became into force as an independent unit, and that is when the first chair was appointed. Before then, KICOTEC was operating as a unit. The budget was being voted under the Ministry of Trade, one of the programs, and the construction of the buildings, procurement of the machines, the training, the money was being done. The expenditure was being incurred at the parent ministry. It is when the KICOTEC became independent that all the assets that were procured by the ministry was transferred to the KICOTEC, and that is what was handed over to the board that came into force. So the assets that was transferred to KICOTEC was the 166 million. I think if the management dug further, they could have given us the breakdown of the machines. Even if they're not giving us the cost per machine, they can give us the sewing machine was this number. The different categories of what was handed over to them. That is what was done. His Excellency the Governor read a figure of 357, 395. I believe the 166 is part of the 395, and the 395 includes the money that went to, for example, like the procurement of the balance crusher. It is in that money, the 108 million shillings that was there. So the 395 did not go all of it to KICOTEC. There are other assets that the county invested on, like the ballast crusher, which has a substantial amount of money. That is part of the 395. Also, the money for marketing. The marketing was done for all the county corporations that were formed then, KICOTEC being part of it. So we cannot conclusively say all the 395 went to KICOTEC. Thank you, Chair.
Questions are coming.
Yeah.
Let's start with Senator Mutinda. Now we have gotten the right person to respond.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Remind me your name, gentleman.
My name is Justus Macau.
Justus Macau. While you were the former CC Trade Chief of Staff,
Chief Officer.
Chief Officer. There was one Georgina Musembi at that time.
Yes.
Who appointed Georgina Musembi?
Unless I see okay, when you look at the Cooperation Act, I'm not sure about whether it was.
You were the former CEO.
I didn't appoint her.
You didn't. How did she get to office as the CEO?
She must have been appointed by the CEC, most likely.
Or by the CEC? You are the chief officer, former.
Chief officer, yes.
Are you still within the county?
No.
Were you fired or your term ended?
Our term ended.
Your term ended?
Yeah.
And you don't know how this lady came to office? Would you know if she was fired or she exited?
She exited because when the first CEO was being appointed, was being recruited, she was acting, and when he was recruited, that's when her term ended. She was just acting, waiting for recruitment of the CEO.
So okay, yes, former CEO, since you've raised your hand.
I can confirm Georgina was a seconded CEO in acting capacity from the county government of Kitui.
By the Department of Trade?
Yes, seconded. She's still working, I think, as a deputy director, still under the Ministry of Trade.
She's still working as a deputy director?
Assistant director, she's still there.
In the current government?
Yes.
Thank you so much. There's a reason I'm keen with this personnel. And the reason I'm keen, Governor, and your team, is because your Annex 3, which is for the bank, Georgina seems to have powers to withdraw cash. After each and every 2 days, she withdraws cash more than 500,000. And that's where the curiosity goes on who is this person. And funny enough, now you say she's still within the county. Every twice a day, she's able to withdraw more than half, just cash monies. Georgina Musembi, she's just withdrawing cash, money from operations. How? Did you ever question that, former CEO?
Or former chair?
Or former chair, or anybody would. The gentleman, you've been raising your hand. Sergeant Atam, you help him with the mic. Maybe he can shed some light.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Enoch Mbudu, former board member. I'm also the outgoing, I was actually the chief officer of finance at that time. And I think I would want to make a few clarifications. I want to follow up from where Dr. Kali has stopped. The budget that has been, and it's also good that we note that Dr. Kali was also the chief officer, budgeting and economic planning. I hope you'll be given time again to speak to the budget that has been attached as part of the responses from the government. But I'm quite aware of the contents of that budget. The budget that has been read, and it has caused a bit of confusion, and I understand really why that confusion is arising. The budget does not belong to KICOTEC. That budget, if you look at it, it's budget for Ministry of Trade, Cooperatives and Investments. And this is where KICOTEC is hosted. And the figure that have been read by Honorable Governor Malombe, for 2018-2019, KICOTEC did not exist as an entity. The document that created KICOTEC, the instruments, the Kitui County Corporation Act, was passed, if my memory serves me right, on 27th of November 2019. The board, which is sitting before you, honorable members, was regulated on 29th of January 2020. So the board and the acting CEO are right when they mentioned that the assets that they found at KICOTEC, they found them, they may not know where they came from. The big figure of 67 million that has been mentioned and wrongly under KICOTEC is a budget that was approved by the County Assembly for the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Cooperatives. KICOTEC was just one of the many programs that benefited from that budget. It is true that the same budget funded Crusher, marketing of the county, of other county entities, and a few other things that were basically outside the KICOTEC. So the issue of autonomy of KICOTEC is that KICOTEC could not spend when it did not exist, but it was a program that outgrew the capacity of the ministry. Then they found the assembly and the county government, in their wisdom, decided to convert this program into an entity. Without having the benefit of the document that support the withdrawals by Georgina Musembi, I think it's also important we appreciate how KICOTEC was running. I'm not trying to explain the withdrawals, the quick withdrawals of $500,000 million or the amount that have been mentioned, because I haven't looked at the vouchers. But generally, it's good that we appreciate that KICOTEC is run, for that time was run by casuals, and casuals will be paid weekly. So once we get the benefit of looking at the vouchers, probably we'll be able to see whether there is any correlation between the amount that are being, the support document for the amount that were being withdrawn.
Point of order.
Yeah, what's your point of order?
Who is taking us again, responding to questions that are probably put to him. So why can't we just stick to our questions? We will get
stick to
there.
the question.
Okay. We will get there. And before we get there, You know, there are records here, and this is a house of record. No, the records that have been brought to the Senate indicate that in 2020, there were no transfers to KICOTEC. At that time, KICOTEC is operating. It's not being run under the Ministry or the Department of Trade. It's already operating. And there's no money that has been transferred to KICOTEC. Listen to this, this wild goose chase. There's no money that has been transferred to KICOTEC. But almost every day, Georgina is withdrawing 541, 43, 48, 5 consistently for a month plus, 540 something. You can only withdraw money from an account that has money. So where has this money come from? Where has the money come from that Georgina is withdrawing all the time, 500 plus, 500,000 shillings plus? And yet on record, no cash transfers to KICOTEC. Where is the money being withdrawn? Where has it come from?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, my senator, for that question. I'll start by responding to the funding of KICOTEC pre-inception of KICOTEC. When you look at the response that have come from Honorable Governor Malombe for 2018 and 2019 financial year and 2019-2020 financial year, I just hope that that figure would have been split into the right financial years, so that we can be able to look at each year what figures you're talking about. Having said that, though, you realize for 2019-2020 financial year, that year has two bits. The first bit is the first 7 months pre-inception of KICOTEC, and the other bit is the final 5 months to make up 1 year from the inauguration of KICOTEC by the board. With the inauguration of the board. So the figure that would have been spent up to February of 2022 would automatically come from the approved county budget, which is sitting in the ministry. And I think then, because the KICOTEC now has got its own life, we would need to find out whether there were any spending by the ministry, whether those ones are coming.
And Senator Enoch had directed you, please respond to the specific question you have asked. Don't meander around. Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. As you ruled, let me try to be specific to what our good senator has asked and seeks clarification. When you look at the statements for KICOTEC, there are two statements. There is one for operations account and there is one for revenue account. It's Annex 3. Annex 3 is operations account, page 1 up to page 3. Okay? And then after that, it's a revenue account, page 1 to page 5. When you look at these dates, the account was opened immediately after KICOTEC was constituted through a gazette notice, the regulations, County Corporations Act.
When was the account opened?
It was March. Because I can see the first transaction here was 7th of March, 2020.
2020.
Yes, and this was 7th of March. Because in the operations account, that is when the charge for checkbook went through. The checkbook was issued immediately the account was opened.
So let's walk slowly.
Yeah.
Because I said you are our man. You're the man that we need to interrogate. So, do you still maintain the position that in the year 2019-2020, there are no transfers to KICOTEC from the county government of Kitui.
A big yes.
Now, then explain the transfer of the cash deposit from Kitui of 543,000 and another 543,000.
Which annex?
Annex.
The operations account?
Page 1, yes, operations account. On the 7th of March, there are two deposits there of 543 and another 543.
No. That's transaction reference. 5434502. That's the transaction reference number.
Okay.
The amount that was deposited was 11,100 shillings.
That's transaction deposit. So 11,000.
Yes.
This
to me is a payment which was done by a client who came to buy items from KICOTEC.
I'm asking you, what is the name again?
Justice.
Relax.
I am.
Is 11,000 shillings money?
It is money.
Is it money that on record has been captured by the bank as being deposited to a KICOTEC account from Kitui?
From the record I have,
yes,
it is money deposited, cash deposit from Kitui. Kitui doesn't mean it's Kitui
government.
government. Yes, it's
okay.
not Kitui
That's
government.
okay, just clarification.
Yes.
I'm saying you relax. Don't relax. Don't be in a defensive mode. We're just trying to
clarify.
See where money got lost, because some money got lost. Yeah. So you're saying you still hold the position that in the year 2019-2020, no single cent was deposited to KICOTEC from the county government of Kitui.
There is no single cent that was deposited because the account was opened in March 2020.
Okay. On the same note, question by Senator Enoch, what is TRF? What were these transfers from TRF?
I don't know what TRF means.
Yeah. They are big transactions. There was a transfer from TRF to KICOTEC of 2 million shillings in May.
May this.
Then there was another transfer from TRF to KICOTEC of 2 million. That was in 14th of May. And then there was a transfer of 10 million on 16th of 10 million. And then we had another transfer from TRF on the 25th of May of 8 million. So who is this TRF?
Okay, to me, I think it's transfer.
From where?
When you read that transaction let me take you for example like the 10,500,000 shillings, 10.5. It is RTGS remission, I think. From the entity that transferred in Eastern and Southern is not clear. When you go down there, it is RTGS, RMT, the judiciary. KICOTEC had worked as an order from judiciary. This is a payment that came from judiciary. So all these credits you're seeing here, they are payments. Some of them, customers, they are just local suppliers. They come and order, they go and deposit direct to the KICOTEC account. But the big figures are money that are being transferred from institutions that had given KICOTEC orders.
Just a clarity, Chair, through you, they had two accounts. This one for revenue is where they make sales, so they receive money. True or false?
True.
After they have made that sale, then they have that operation account for expenditures, and then you transfer to that operation account so that you can make your expenditures to the suppliers. That is why we have the TRF in banking means transfer. So that's why we have TRF now to the operation account of 10 million, of 2 million, of 8 million.
Yes.
And that is why there's the bigger query of the one Musembi, Georgina. Now, in her case, she was withdrawing cash. True or false, CEO, Chief Officer?
Yes.
She withdrew cash. And at this platform is where the board should also be telling us, the chair of that former board, how you gave her authority as the CEO, because you are the top body. How you authorized cash withdrawals by one Georgina. Why was that done?
And it was not just Georgina. We had someone else called Faith Mona, who was also withdrawing cash. Who is Faith Mona?
CEO, Chair.
Who
Chair,
is
talking to
Faith
you.
Mona?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's Faith Mona.
Maybe the former chair, through you, Chair, he can be able to advise us with Faith and also explain to the committee why you are allowed Georgina to withdraw cash. Former chair.
Okay, Mr. Patrick, the former chair. I cannot remember someone by the name Faith Mona. And I'm also as well trying to check where Georgina was withdrawing the 541 on daily basis here from the transaction, and I cannot get them.
Wait, let me just remind you, according to the statement, Faith Mona on the 29th of May withdrew 172,000. Or maybe he was given a check to go and withdraw cash, 172,000. And then again, there were other cash withdrawals. Besides Musembi, there were other cash withdrawals which were withdrawn. Maybe through checks. Like on the 30th of April, there was a cash withdrawal from Kitui branch of 90,000. So this account was being operated on cash basis, clearly, from this statement. And these statements are not complete because they are just for 2 months, April to May. We are sure there were transactions in 2021, there were transactions in 2022. Where are the other statements? Chair, the former chair, you have not said anything.
Okay, I've said the mandatory signatories for the account was the CEO of the KICOTEC and one of the staff of executive in the Ministry of Trade.
But surely, Chair, what was the function of the board? Because the board, you receive financial reports from the CEO.
Yes,
when you sit in the board. Were you not questioning these transactions?
Okay, we are questioning them, the chair, through the finance committee. We worked through the committees.
Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence that you issued, you required the CEO to explain? Have you brought the evidence that you, in your meetings, is there any evidence, minutes, indicating that you indicated concerns about how the money was being managed?
We have all the meetings since we started our board meeting since 2020.
Can you provide those minutes to this committee?
Yes, we have all the minutes. But some of the transactions that are withdrawn here, maybe they are not approved in the minutes.
They are not.
Because the board...
No, I think the chair, you should frame your question like this because we are on the same page. Bwana chair, tunauliza, ulijua ya kwamba Georgina ana withdraw pesa, cash, kutoka kwa benki? Wewe kama chair wa hiyo board, ulijua Georgina anatoa pesa kama CEO?
Yes, we knew.
Kwa hivyo wewe ulimruhusu atoe cash?
Yeah, for operations.
Operation.
Yes.
Mulikuwa na akaunti. Nimeona hapa kuna cost ya checkbook, sio?
Yes.
Kwa nini hamkulipa hawa suppliers na check? Kwa nini mlitoa cash mulipe cash? Kwa nini hamkulipa na check? Vile customer amewalipa pesa imeingia. Alafu mnapeleka kwa operation. Hii operation ya account ya expenditure ilikuwa na checkbook. Kwa nini nyinyi kama board hamkuhakikisha checks zimesainiwa vizuri zikiwa na attached expenditure that has been approved?
Okay, that is exactly what we are doing. We used to approve all the money through the checks that were being paid to the suppliers. The cash that were being withdrawn was for the operations in the offices. Of which I think it's not much.
It is, so 500,000 to you is not much, eh?
What?
500,000 is not much. It's petty cash, it's too small. Chair.
All the supplies actually were paid through checks.
Umesema ya kwamba, Chair, I want this clarity. The question that we are asking, and the Chair is asking about the money that even Faith Muna withdrew. The 172, the 500,000, we've seen 200, we've seen so many figures. So according to you as the Chair, these are small monies.
Me, I've not seen that.
It is in your statement.
For the Moon, I think it was written a check. It was written a check, and maybe you can present it to the bank. I've not went through all those transactions.
Former chairperson, you are taking us in circles. And you know this is a committee of the Senate, which has powers, quasi-judicial powers, like the High Court. So when you are appearing before us and you are responding to issues, you must understand that. And I am very confident that the board had a role in this matter. Because your own act, the Kitui County Corporation Act, had vested some responsibility in you to ensure proper financial management of the entity. And I would like the legal officer to read out the particular provision of the Corporation Act, the County Corporation Act. Before, yes.
I'm struggling with an entry here, Annex 3. You can just go there, Annex 3. Annex 3. On the 24th of April. Yeah? So, Chair, what has happened on 24th of April? 700,000 shillings has been transferred from the KICOTEC revenue account and deposited to the operations account of KICOTEC. The same day, our good lady Georgina has withdrawn 610. Can somebody explain that? Perhaps maybe, Chair, perhaps Georgina should be here. Perhaps Georgina should be here because I'm not sure this gentleman will.
Yeah, Georgina is an interest, a witness of interest. In the earlier meeting, because we are not seeing these reports, so we didn't invite her. But I think Georgina is accountable to this committee because of these many transactions.
Because, Chair, I mean, let's just call this thing what it is. I don't know why we're even going around in circles over this thing. This thing is just a conduit. It's a cash cow. That's what it is. It's a special purpose vehicle created to siphon money from the county using not very clever ways. This is what it is. Now you cannot tell us that Georgina every day is withdrawing whatever amounts of money that she is withdrawing for operations. The board is okay with that. The chief officer is okay with that. Everybody but the Senate is okay with that. Chair, I think so that we also don't waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think we should move now towards a closure on this matter. The other time I had said you need to declare KICOTEC a scene of crime. You were a bit hesitant. I'm not sure you will be more hesitant.
Yeah, I think those who are raising hands, that is unprocedural. I said all communications are made through the governor. If the governor feels fit, a particular person should respond to a matter, the governor will make that decision. He is the chief executive of the county to respond to the issues. So, honorable members, these statements that have been given to us are only for 2 months. The period from April 2020 to May 2020. And that means maybe we have other questionable transactions which are contained in the complete statements. So I would direct right away that Governor, you when you go back, you provide the complete statements from when the account was opened to the current date, so that the members can see the magnitude of the problem, because this is just for 2 months. It's just for 2 months. So any other question before we move to the third issue and fourth issue?
I think Chair will say we move to the third and fourth because there's a bigger elephant in the room that I'm curious to engage on, and where I would also want the input of EACC.
Yeah, we have, EACC have a substantial report which they are going to give. But members, clearly we have noted inconsistency in the operation of this account. In fact, the argument that the money that was given, the 168 million was used to purchase the assets, the audit report says there is no asset register for this particular company. So how do we even confirm the 168 without an asset register? Number two, there is no justification for cash withdrawals. There is no justification for cash withdrawal at all. So this particular lady, Musembi, we are going to give directions on how we are going to engage her further. So Governor, let's proceed to the third issue for clarification.
Thank you, Chair. Question number 3 was, or issue number 3 was requiring that the financial performance report of the Kitui County Tax House Center since inception to date, clearly indicating the profits and or losses made. And there is a report there on page
Just Governor, hold on. Just hold on. Senator Eddie Okech, you know, is a highly rated financial analyst. He has just discovered additional issues. So, Senator Okech, please raise them before I go back to the governor.
Chair, there's a serious problem here that I wanted you to actually just recommend that within 7 days have Georgina come here, and the board chair was the corresponding board chair at that time.
He's here, the board chair is here.
I was following online, you know, we nowadays very technical. I heard the way chair talked, and I had a problem with the chair. Because this Georgina issue, when anybody withdraws money, there has to be narration, which you are simplifying to be Georgina Musembi. If today I asked you, 700,000 was withdrawn in April, what was it for? As a chair, you cannot be able to account for it. But the reason why I'm now almost going to the understanding of the senator for Kitui, Chair, I want you to check page 5 of 5. That's a revenue account. It's almost a concluded revenue account. You can see there is a debit there of 8 million. Are we all there? Page 5 of 5. From the revenue side, there is 8 million leaving the revenue account, going to the operations account. Because we are running 2 accounts, revenue and operations. Chair, are we there? Then, page 5 of 5. There's 8 million from the revenue account going to operations account. Now, I want you to turn to page 3 of 3. Which is why I'm getting really, really jittery right now. Page 3 of 3, 28th of May, 2020. 28th of May 2020. Are we there? Yes. Georgina Musembi. It is 3 of 3. That's what I have. No operations. Now, because I come from, I was tracking the money from revenue to operations. Because that's a similar month, right? So we are on the operations account 3 of 3. Georgina Musembi withdraws 1.5 million. That's very little money for this KICOTEC, right? Yes. It's just an operations amount, isn't it? But then go with me to 29. That is a day, literally a day after. Okay? A day after, 29th of May 2020, the same Georgina Musembi withdraws 644,000. Very, very small pocket change, corresponding to the money that has come from revenue account. Chair, why is that not? Why is I think under Article 125 of the Constitution, the Georgina Musembi must come and explain for us these accounts. And I would further ask that we get the entire corresponding accounts, not for only these 2 months, but for the entire financial years that Georgina Musembi was the acting CEO, the CEO of this company. Because there is interesting that's happening here that we must get corresponding, narrations to this withdrawals, Chair.
Very well. We are going to make recommendations at the end of the meeting, touching on Regina Musembi, because the transactions, however much you try to explain, are not explainable. There are clear signs of fraud. So we will have her to appear before us.